Kelly Laverty, back with another Movement Monday. And this week's theme is all about building capacity to experience life, to be able to feel our feelings, to move through those hard times, those stressful moments that our fight-flight system wants to run from. We want to shut down. When we're overwhelmed, we feel like we want to curl up into a ball, right? We have some movement patterns that are trying to help us survive. And when we go to that extreme, we shut down. So I'm a board certified dance movement therapist, and I own Be Rooted Wellness Studio in Westchester, Pennsylvania, and I'm going to walk you through a few simple movements today that can help you start to build that tolerance, that experience for feeling certain things in our body. As a dance movement therapist, I work one-on-one in therapy with my clients, helping them personalize this, helping you to learn to create a new story for yourself from life experiences that have created patterns of shutdown, of dissociation, of fear of feeling, fear of like that buildup that's like that anxiety and tolerance of the body. I help people learn to connect with their body, learn to move through that energy, learn to live life and want to experience life and enjoy and have fun and take risk. So through dance movement therapy, I will work individually with you to help cater to your thoughts, your feelings, your movements, and we work to process through that. I also have a studio in Westchester where we have group movement classes that allow you to start practicing in community with other people how to get out of your head, how to come into the body and build that capacity to experience life. And often the capacity that is missing for most of us is how do we slow down? How do we just be in this space of feeling, of being present? That is often really challenging for people. So our classes are geared towards that, geared towards helping you get out of the stress state and into our more parasympathetic, our rest, our play, our safe zone. So if you want more info on those classes, check out our schedule at the link below and keep following us. And then I also have an embodiment course, a program called Be With Body that helps you practice these things on your own and then in conjunction with group or individual coaching to help you learn how to be in your body and be with your body. So I come on here each Monday to give you a taste of those offerings, some simple movements to try, because even though we're not in a dance movement therapy session, movement itself is therapeutic. Movement itself will help you start to make connections and build that capacity, even in small doses. So you maybe have experienced this in your life and in going to an exercise class, a yoga class, a walk in nature, right? And every time you do that, every time you come into movement that's different, maybe a HIIT workout, something hard and challenging, and you don't think you're gonna get through it, you think you're gonna die because it's so hard. That builds your capacity and your confidence for the next time. So I want you to approach this experience in the same way. These simple movements are just to take you a little bit out of maybe your everyday movement pattern and allow you to start to get an experience in your body. And whatever that is, positive or negative, or whatever it brings up in terms of memory, if you have questions or concerns, please reach out. But see this as just a taste of building some awareness. Take out your judgment and assumptions about what this might or might not feel like for you, what it should feel like. There's really no right or wrong. And I'd love to hear in comments. I'd love to have you like and follow, share this with people to ask them, hey, have you ever thought of trying movement as a way of building your capacity for emotions, for regulation? Because it's not about trying to just shut off emotion and calm ourselves. It's about, can we build our ability to be in life with all its challenges, all its emotions, positive, negative, everything, really feeling and embodying life fully. So we're just gonna start with a couple movements today. And the first one is just gonna be just starting to shake a little, right? And you can just start to shake your hands, and that might be enough for you to have your heart start racing. You might be like, I don't know, this is weird, because these movements connect in our experience to other times that we've done this. And just shaking our body, going up and down, shaking maybe your torso, your shoulders. You know, you're gonna have different connections. This might feel fun and flirty. This might feel uncomfortable to exposing. Flopping your arms, shaking your legs. Just notice how it feels. But I know for me, it gets my heart racing a little. It starts to feel like my breath shifts, my heart races a little. You might even put a little shaking gently on your chest to notice your heart going. And then you can adjust it. You can slow this down. You can start to have that shake be more like a swing or just kind of gentle. You might have a response where you want to kind of really just like stretch or shift in some way. Bring your heart rate back down. Bring your sense of grounding, your sense of connection through that. Allow yourself to notice, okay, that shaking wasn't dangerous. I'm here, I'm still in my body, I'm still present, and I got to move, and I got to slow and change my movement and stop my movement when I wanted to. That was choice. That was building your capacity for that feeling. A lot of people will panic, will have anxiety, racing thoughts, and their body, rather than doing this, because this is uncomfortable, this sometimes brings the feeling to the forefront, they tense, they freeze, they shut down. And really all the body wants to do is let that energy move so that you can come with your thoughts to a place of focus, to think through it, to manage the situation. But if we're afraid of the movement, if we're afraid of the feeling in the body, we can't move through it. So this is just about practice and having fun with the shaking, okay? So that gets your heart going a little, maybe your breath. Another movement that helps your breath, and to start noticing how your breath shifts and change, is a jump. And different bodies are gonna be able to jump in different ways. Maybe you just allow yourself to kind of shift leg to leg, side to side. These are little simple jumps that don't have to actually jump big. Maybe you jump big. Maybe you let your arms, your body, everything. And I, even with my breath, I had a whole connection with leaving the ground and coming back and kind of just taking that force with me. It gets your breath going, it gets your movements going, right? If you jump a lot, it's gonna get your heart and your breath going. And you just can bounce too if that's too much on your body, right? But how often do we maybe jump? When's the last time you skipped and let your heart rate and your breath start moving a little? And was that positive? Was that negative for you? Is that something that you don't like that feeling? A lot of us, when we exercise, we go, oh, this breath, we have a positive association with it. So it helps us mentally, physically, emotionally, to connect that that's an okay thing for our breath. Other people who deal with anxiety, trauma, they don't want that awareness. Women with eating disorders, that just brings awareness to the body, and that can be a negative thing. And so starting to just play with this, starting to build your tolerance. Again, you get to do as much and as little as you want. And then the last piece is just how simple touch can help us when we're feeling tense, when we're feeling stressed, just to send the message of it's okay. We're not gonna, a lot of times if I'm tense, oh, my shoulder, I need to we wanna dig in there, right? Or we might go and foam roll or try to be like, let's work out this tension. My muscles so tight, might try to stretch and, force that tension away. If you try to push against something, the body pushes back. So if you try to just meet it and just say, I'm here, the body doesn't need to push, right? We do this mentally, we do this in relationships with people. So just notice how just bringing a simple touch might allow the body to ease. If you feel tense in your chest, rather than trying to work that out, just try to ease it, right? You can give yourself a hug, not a squeeze, just a holding. If your stomach hurts, just take some warmth, just take awareness and hold. Feel the breath, allow yourself to say, it's okay, I can just be with this. I don't need to tense more and shut down even more. I can allow myself to ease. So I'd love to know how you're feeling after just those quick 3 movements. I'd love to know if you have questions or thoughts, if you've ever heard of dance movement therapy, if you've ever made the connection for yourself, how movement helps you to build capacity, not only physically, but also mentally and emotionally. I'd love to hear those stories. So please reach out, get on my newsletter. I do a weekly Movement Monday newsletter, as well as this video every week. So be sure to follow so that you can tune in for more.